Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Leon Master. Welcome back to another Overwatch League news video. And today, guys, we have a lot to talk about. I made a video in 2 days, and of course, a lot's gonna happen in 2 days. A lot's gonna happen. So we have Dallas Fuel probably done up their roster now. We have Seoul stuff. We got leaks. We got Washington Justice news. It's everywhere. A lot of leaks in this video, honestly. So let's go ahead and start off with the big one. Everyone wants to hear about it. Dallas Fuel. They basically have finished their roster. I mean, they don't really need to do too much anymore. I mean, they're really done. They're done. So if you guys did not see about the Dallas Fuel, they have signed a main sport and a new hit scan DPS player, and I could be wrong pronouncing this guy's name wrong, so please forgive me. I think it's Chiyo or Chiyo. Please forgive me, I might be wrong. And the hit scan DPS is Edison. We know Edison. I'm gonna talk about their new main sport player here. Be honest, haven't watched them all yet, but I did do research on opinions, and a lot of people are saying this is probably the best main sport you could have gotten out of contenders right now. So that's all I'm going to give y'all, because that's all of my knowledge so far around the new main sport player coming in for the Dallas Fuel. And for the hit scan DPS Edison, I'm not fully surprised this happened. I mean, there was a few hit scan players that were released from their team and now looking for a new team, and that is Edison for the Fuel. Edison was obviously on the Atlantic terrain and did big things this entire season for them, and ended up getting second place. You know, he came in and out a few times with some rotations. He was solid all last year playing for the Atlanta Reign, and now he's going to be on the Dallas Fuel playing that hit scan, looking to be the main hit scan part of the team, of course, right beside Doha and Sparkle. Obviously, Overwatch 2 is coming in, so maybe some new heroes could come into play for Edison, and just his hit scan play all around is coming in for the Dallas Fuel. They missed out on that entire thing all last year for the Fuel, missing the hit scan player. It wasn't really a big deal for them last year because Doha and Sparkle learned Tracer, and that's all they really needed to learn all season. Obviously, Kree would have been nice here and there, maybe some Widow, but majority of the season, I think they were fine without a main hit scan player. And now Overwatch 2 comes in, maybe you will need that main hit scan player, and Edison comes in, and I think Edison's really gonna really perform well on this team. Hopefully he does. I mean, under Rush and the coaching staff Dallas has, and the players they have as well, like Fearless, Sparkle, you have Fielder, and even the new main sport player coming in. Edison could look really top tier now on this Dallas Fuel squad, and I'm very excited to see what Edison does with this team. I am really liking these two new pickups for the Fuel. They have a lot to bring in for the Fuel. They needed that main sport upgrade. I mean, I think everyone agreed that JJONAK was kind of like the part of Fuel where it needed an upgrade. Even though, yes, he did really well the entire season, it's still, you could look at it and say, there's an upgrade here that could happen. Chiyo comes in, and he could be that upgrade. Like I said, I could be saying his name wrong, and I haven't seen him, but a lot of opinions say that he's really good and definitely a huge upgrade over JJONAK. And Edison comes in being that hit scan player. And who knows, they may not even use Edison after what Doha and Sparkle did all last year. Now onto the Seoul Dynasty. We've got a lot to talk about here. A lot of good moves coming in for this team. If you guys did not see, we got main tank, new main tank coming for the team, a good one. We have some leaks from Halo of Thoughts. Here it is on your screen. Smurf is coming in for the Seoul Dynasty. JJONAK is potentially coming in, and Vindaim is potentially coming in as well. Seoul obviously needed many changes, and main tank was one of them. Main tank was definitely one of them. Both of their main tanks now gone. Marvel released, Gesture retired. Smurf comes in. We all know how good Smurf is. He was on Shock, back-to-back champion type beat. He was great. Fantastic main tank, one of the best main tanks of all time in the Overwatch League. Comes in for the Seoul Dynasty. Definitely going to help this team massively, especially beside Fitz and Prophet. We heard Prophet try to get Smurf on this team. Ended up happening. Then let's look at these leaks from Halo of Thoughts. JJONAK coming in. I am very interested to see how this turns out. I think JJONAK being on a team like this could really show what he kind of showed back in Season 1. He was insanely good, and he still has been consistently good in Season 2, 3, and 4. Just Season 1 was something crazy. Even Season 2 was still somewhat crazy from JJONAK. But 3 and 4, obviously, there was a fall off there. The league got better. Couldn't really pocket JJONAK a lot. Now with Overwatch 2 coming in, we know we have some changes coming in. JJONAK could really, pop off, especially beside the new main sport coming in, as well as Vindaim. Don't know that much about this guy. I know he's just a main sport player, potentially getting promoted for the Seoul Dynasty and playing beside JJONAK. And I love to see what happens here. They still may have creative. And so you have creative there. You have JJONAK, double flex format that could happen. I think these are some good signings from just what I'm looking at here. Smurf, obviously, fantastic main tank coming in for the Seoul Dynasty. Going to change the game for the team. JJONAK going to potentially change the game for them as well. Vindaim, I'm kind of clueless on him, but they do need a main sport player, and I think that could be the main sport player after what I have looked up for opinions. But just these two signings in general, Smurf and JJONAK, is definitely going to change the team drastically. Now let's talk about the Washington Justice. We have many moves here. So if you guys did not see, the Justice have released players. We have leaks and a new signing for the team. They have released Bebe and Jerry, and they have signed Happy and potentially signing Krillin. So let's talk about the releases real quick. Bebe, I mean, kind of sucks to see. I think he was kind of solid all year long. He wasn't a top tier flex sport, but he definitely was solid. You can tell he's a bright spot on that team. But once again, I think it is somewhere you could upgrade, but is Krillin the upgrade? I don't think so, but we'll talk about it later. Jerry, this was expected. I mean, now that they're getting Happy, definitely makes sense now. I have always thought that Jerry has been a very solid hits game player, but definitely not top tier, not like a Happy. You know, for example, Happy was very good on the Houston Outlaws. Yes, there were some moments where it was very inconsistent, but I think majority of the time, Happy has performed really well on the teams he's played on, like the Charge, like the Outlaws, and just brought a lot to those teams. And him going on the Justice is definitely a massive upgrade. But from what it seems like, let's hope they didn't do it. What I'm about to say, I'm hoping they didn't do it. Let's hope they just didn't spend all their budget on Happy and now signing players they don't really need to. You know, they didn't really need, and now they're suffering because they don't have that much of a budget anymore. I say that because the leak from Halo Thoughts is that they're expected to announce Krillin. Now, I will say I only know him from his Overwatch League performances. He could have been popping off on T1, but from what I know, him being on London Spitfire majority of the time, I think there is potential from Krillin, and maybe he unlocked that potential in T1 that I have not seen yet. But Krillin going on the Justice, is he better than Bebe? From just my knowledge, I don't think so. But like I said, he could be insanely good now after playing on T1. But I highly doubt he's going to be coming in as this fantastic flex support that's going to like destroying everyone else like a JJONAK or Alarm. I do not think Krillin's going to do that at all. I think he's going to be more in the mid-lower area of flex sports if this is the case, even if he has been popping off in T1. Like, this is still me talking about even if he has been popping off on T1, if he is that, I just think he is going to be in the mid-tier of flex sports, even on this team. I think Happy is going to try his best and change the team a little bit of his hit scan play, but just seeing this makes me worried, but, you know, there is way more time, you know, for the next season, so they could be signing way more players, but just seeing this in general is making me a little bit worried. Now onto another thing. This one, kind of surprising, but kind of not, you know, if you were just like thinking about it in the back of your head, kind of for me, is Crimzo is joining the Boston Uprising. He has joined the Boston Uprising. Very interesting to see this team take this direction from what it seems like already. You know, the Boston Uprising have welcomed back to many players, and Crimzo is now on the Boston Uprising. I think this one could definitely be something good for them. I mean, Myeonbong, Crimzo, who you gonna take? I think if you want someone fully well-rounded and it's very consistently good, probably gonna be Crimzo. I do think Myeonbong was very good, but was he as consistent as a player like Crimzo, who like really doesn't drop the ball and also can play all the supports, you know, flex supports on a very high level? I think that is Crimzo. I think he honestly is an upgrade over Myeonbong, potentially, could be wrong, but I think he is that upgrade, and I think Crimzo is gonna bring a lot to the Boston Uprising. Now, the question comes later on is who are going to be the other pieces for this team, because I think Crimzo's great and all, but you definitely need to sign way more. They welcome back Punk, Faith, and, you know, all the players they have now, welcome back. Now they have Crimzo. Very interested to see what they do now with this. I think Crimzo is a great signing, but they definitely need way more pieces for them to potentially get in like the top 5 conversation, maybe somewhere in the top 10 potentially, but I do think this is a fantastic signing. Now let's talk about the Los Angeles Gladiators. They have made some moves, a signing and a departure. So if you guys did not see, FunnyAstro has joined the Gladiators. That was leaked not too long ago by Halo of Thoughts, but Dpei is leaving the Gladiators. Here's his entire tweet on the screen right here with the Gladiators getting FunnyAstro as well. That's his tweet. This was something I know a lot of people wanted, but probably not in this way. You know, Dpei wants to leave himself, and it really does suck to see Dpei no longer be on the Gladiators. But I do think at some point this was going to be the case, Dpei no longer being on the Gladiators. I think, you know, I said it a lot in the offseason. I think this was his last time to really change the team, get different results, and I think he got that. But unfortunately, you know how people are, probably just spamming him messages or DMs saying he still did a bad job. I think he did a good job this year, but there is definitely way more upgrades now, especially in contenders, and a lot of Overwatch League assistant coaches wanting to be head coaches that could be better than Dpei at the end of the day here for the Los Angeles Gladiators. I think this may be the case for the Gladiators, getting one of these assistant coaches that now want to be a head coach, like from the Shanghai Dragons, for example. I think it is time for Dpei to take a break. I think this is smart from him, and then he'll sit back and think about it, and he'll go off from that. But Gladiators getting FunnyAstro, big signing. Are they going to use him? Who knows? I don't want to see FunnyAstro benched. I want to see him play. You know, Moth got benched. Couldn't see him play a lot. But it was skewed and shoot, and it worked. And, you know, they're also back on the Gladiators. Are they going to use FunnyAstro more? Depends on the meta, I'm going to assume, for Overwatch 2. We'll see what happens. Now onto the Guangzhou Charge. They have made a signing that was kind of expected. I think I even called it earlier. Is that Guangzhou Charge have signed Develop to the team. I can't say that much about Develop because he got benched all time he was on the Shanghai Dragons. Now, I think it was expected that he was going to get signed quick because Develop has been a very insane player back at Contenders of his hit scan play. Got signed to Shanghai Dragons, got no play time, which was expected, and still confused on why they signed him. But now he's on the Charge, and he's definitely going to help this team out massively. That's all I can say. Haven't seen him play in the Overwatch League yet, so I can't say that much about it. Now onto leaks for the rest of the video, basically. So if you guys did not see, Halo of Thoughts has announced that Outlaws may be signing Iris, another Atlanta player. They now have Pelican. Gonna go over that at the end of the video. And now potentially Iris. Getting Atlanta Reign players, Iris coming in over Crimzo, replacing Crimzo is definitely a massive change that's gonna help them drastically, especially if Pelican come beside him. Getting this like somewhat Atlanta core in a way, I guess. I don't know what they're trying to do here, but they're getting Atlanta players and bringing them to Houston Outlaws. Is this a good move? I think so. I mean, I think they got second place. I think this is a good move for them. And seeing Houston Outlaws get Pelican already, potentially getting Iris, I think this is going to be massive for the team moving forward. They may still need some changes here and there. You know, maybe a new tank comes in, maybe some new support would be nice. I think this is a big move for the Houston Outlaws getting Iris. Now they have to get a new main sport as well. They don't have a main sport yet, unless they want to keep Jake as main sport, which, hey, they do that, you know, they do that. Now on to another leak from Halo Thoughts. It's also about the Philadelphia Fusion, and they are looking to promote Zest. Once again, like I said earlier with other leaks, don't know that much about Zest. All I know is he is a flex DPS player, going to be playing beside Carpe, which will end up being the case. So I'm excited to see what Zest does. I mean, just looking at his stuff already, I mean, I think Zest could bring a lot to Philadelphia Fusion. Is this going to be the case? It's going to be a wait and see moment. You know, all they have is Carpe and Alarm. All they need to do is build around them, which they are already doing it, most likely. And Zest coming, and also some other leaks from Halo Thoughts in the past will come into this team. I think they are looking to build a fantastic team this upcoming season, and I think these are the potential moves, but I could be wrong. We'll see. We'll see what goes on in Philadelphia Fusion. Now onto the last leak with Halo Thoughts, and this one I am a big fan of. If you guys have not seen, Yaki is looking to be traded to the NYXL. If you guys do not recall, Yaki is staying on Florida Mayhem just to get traded. He is guaranteed to get traded somewhere, and it looks like it is going to be the NYXL, and this one is a fantastic trade. Currently only on the roster right now is Flora, so they do need, you know, a few more players. You know, they need a few more. And now Yaki's coming in. Playing beside Florida potentially is going to be massive, and if anything, Yaki's going to be the carry of this team. He's going to be like the prophet for NYXL, sitting there beside them. You know, this big player that will change the game for them, change the tempo, kind of like Sparkle on Fuel sometimes, even Doha. You know, I think Yaki is going to be that player for NYXL and changing everything for this team, and I'm very excited that is going to be the case because Kuki also has been leaked to join the NYXL as well, and also he wants to work beside Kuki, and you know they've done well together, you know, back in season 3 and 4 a little bit if you want to count that, and they have been good together. And I guess Yaki trusts them to be on the NYXL. They may build around him now because Kuki knows Yaki. They may build around Yaki, and they'll move on from there. So NYXL doing this move is definitely massive. Now we're just onto a tiny few things to talk about here, and this one I'm about to talk about is a lot of retirements, and this one was expected. These were expected retirements after what I said in the offseason last time, is BQB and OG. I said this mostly about OG, but BQB is retiring and OG is retiring as well. Mostly I talked about OG a lot in the previous offseason, that this was his last time to really prove himself, and if he doesn't prove himself, he's going to be either on a low tier Overwatch League team or he's really done. And it ends up being the case that he is done. He probably didn't find any offers to join any Overwatch League team. He has been very inconsistent, but he isn't done being a player. He is going to be a coach moving forward. Now, will a team get him? Maybe. Probably one of those lower tier teams that will try him out. Maybe like Vancouver, maybe. Maybe some teams that will just give him a shot. I mean, Houston Outlaws, maybe. Look at Florida Mayhem. Look at NYXL potentially for assistant coaching. He is definitely going to start as an assistant coach. Maybe a tank coach somewhere if teams want to pull that again. You know, Dallas Fuel back in season 2 had tank coach, DPS coach. So seeing OG retire does suck to see. I think he's still... but maybe had potential. I don't even know anymore. We've said it every season ever since he joined the Fuel back in season 1 that he may have potential. We thought he would hit it in LA Gladiators, didn't end up being the case. Florida Mayhem especially was the one, like this was the one for Florida Mayhem to really show if he had that potential. And no, it just ended up being the case that he is how he is. He's very inconsistent, has a lot of top tier moments, has a lot of bad moments as well. So OG retiring does suck to see. Can he come back though and be really strong? Always. There's always that chance for someone to come back very strong. And that's it with the retirements. And just to go over stuff official, if you guys missed it, is Houston Outlaws did sign Pelican and Florida Mayhem did sign Gunba, which I don't know that I fully think about that just yet. Just seeing that does not make me have high hopes for Florida in the future. And Houston getting Pelican is huge. Getting the Atlanta Rain pieces, also Iris potentially as well, is big. But that is going to be it for the Overwatch League video. If you guys want to stay more in tune with Overwatch League news and Overwatch League stuff in general, don't forget to subscribe down below. Also, don't forget to join my Discord down below as well. Follow my Twitter and my Twitch. And don't forget to hit that bell and leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. I'll see you guys on the next one.